Our next speaker is just to my left, Sebastian. Sebastian is a faithful guy and just been a good friend the last few months. So grateful for him. I asked him to do this about 40 hours ago. And he gladly said yes, and that's the kind of guy he is. So Sebastian, thank you so much. We're excited to hear from you.
All right, I don't know this well enough just to stand out there with the confidence as Mandy and Vicky did, so I'm just gonna hide behind my screen because I am a millennial. All right, so just the other day we had what was called Groundhog's Day, right? And on Groundhog's Day, I couldn't help but be reminded of the 1993 movie called Groundhog's Day starring Bill Murray. In that, he's a reporter that ends up being stuck and reliving the same day over and over and over and over and over again. However funny that movie is, with those funny moments, it has a deeper meaning. See, one critic said, the time loop may be supernatural, but it serves as a metaphor for a typical life. Many people can relate to Phil's predicament. They feel trapped in the routine of jobs they don't particularly like. They have trouble connecting with others on a deep end, or a deep level, and they function okay, but they're profoundly unhappy. It's monotonous. See, monotony can be defined as tedious repetition and routine. If I was to take a survey of everybody here, I am fairly certain that a large majority of you would agree that you have felt this way at some point in life, about some season in life, where it's just monotonous. At some point, you can relate to the living of that same loop of life. Most of the time, we apply this to work, in our careers, and our jobs. Sometimes, though, we can see this being applied to attending church. But if we were to really think hard about this, it actually applies to group life. You see, we can often get caught up in the moments of just attending our groups, or even just leading our groups. It becomes a routine for us. Not necessarily a bad one, but one that's built on just attending, meaning we show up, we attend, and then we go on. That's why today I'm talking about managing the monotony, moving from the I have to the I get to mentality. If we're honest about groups, at some point we can go from the phrase of I get to go to groups to, well, I have to go to group. And if we're not careful, we can easily trickle down into the I don't want to, and then finally, I'm not going to. It's a mental state. As group leaders, it is our responsibility to be aware of this from our group members. Managing the monotony is about being intentionally aware of the pulse of the group and at the same time, the pulse of the individuals. Let's not get too caught up in focusing on the routine of the group that we lose sight of the people that make up the group. In addition to asking people how they're doing, it's intentionally setting up a few things in place for our groups that helps us stay in that I get to mentality. Earlier, we mentioned implementing rhythms and encouraged each of you to implement some sort of rhythm within your group. You see, we can easily fall into long streaks of attendance that creates a stale environment that leads to stale members who are no longer connecting on a deeper level. Having rhythms in place helps to change that up and provide intentional opportunities for outreach and service. We don't want stale groups. We want groups that provide a deeper, more meaningful connection that encourages spiritual growth and a healthy biblical community. Our slogan as a church is this: every member in a group, every group on mission. Landry mentioned that earlier, and we're all fairly familiar with that. But my question for you is this: what's your group's mission? What's your group's vision? What's your group's purpose? You see, organizations would normally go through establishing a vision, purpose, and mission. These are usually the what, why, and how that unify a company. Vision is the what, the end goal that you're all are aiming for. Purpose is the why, the reason you're doing what you're doing, why you're together. Mission is the how, the process by which you will reach that goal. A lot of companies use a formula out there that's vision plus purpose plus mission equals impact. Maybe it's just me. I was voted most inquisitive in high school unanimously by all the teachers because I asked questions, a lot of questions, and I still do, such as the what, why, and how. Having these clearly laid out and defined helps to answer those types of questions. What this does is that it gives people something to hold on to ahead of time. It excites them to understand what they're doing, why they're doing, and how it's supposed to get done. It's a unified focus. It's easier to fall into a I have to mentality when there's nothing overarching to grab a hold of. I pray that your group does not hit a monotonous streak at all, but just because it hasn't doesn't mean that we can't implement a few things to prevent it. Sure, your group may all already have the same idea and actually know answers to these types of questions, but how much better and reassuring is it to bring it to the surface so that it's well known and provided for anyone who may ask and also anyone who's new? It makes it easier to get excited about, and it helps us move to that I get to mindset. You see, our young adult leaders recently met together and talked about several different things, and I challenged them on this to think about a few of these things. It was a challenge to myself, too, as a group leader for Nine-ish. And so I came up with this. This is ours. Nine-ish is here to help young adults grow in their identity as part of the church so they stay connected during a pivotal time in their lives by providing an opportunity where they feel comfortable gathering with other young adults in biblical community. The vision is to help young adults grow in their identity as part of the church. The purpose is so that they stay connected during a pivotal time in their lives, and the mission is by providing an opportunity for them where they feel comfortable gathering. We can expand on that easily if we wanted to, but this is the general overarching statement that we are going to start focusing on. I'm not saying that you need to have a paragraph-long statement, but that it helps clarify, or it helps to clearly define the vision, purpose, and mission of your group. It helps everybody. From a leader's perspective, this helps me clearly see the direction of our group. And I'm pretty positive it's going to help you see the direction of your group. And maybe it's something you need to start asking now that you haven't asked in a long time. What is our vision? What's our purpose? And what's our mission? We can be very generic with things, but I think we live in a time that we need to start getting very specific. Rhythms encourage physical movement within your group by changing up how you meet. Vision, purpose, and mission strengthens your group's focus. Hopefully these suggestions help your group stay in the I get to mentality. Thank you.